Hello, my name is John Murphy. I'm here with Benjamin Wright, and we're with the City of Bellevue Transportation Department to talk about Safe Speeds Bellevue. Safe Speeds Bellevue is a new program to improve safety and support Vision Zero by evaluating speed limits and reducing speeds on city streets. The initial phase of Safe Speeds Bellevue will review speed limits on all city streets that currently have a speed limit of 30 miles per hour or more. Today's presentation has 5 items. We'll provide context of why safe speeds are important in Bellevue, the background and foundation of our Safe Speeds Bellevue program, how we will work to determine safe speeds on Bellevue streets, how we will evaluate safe speeds in Bellevue, and then identify some next steps. In short, slower streets are safer streets. The focus of Safe Speeds Bellevue is on streets that have a posted speed limit of 30 miles per hour or more. This area of focus is important because 88% of crashes where a person is killed or seriously injured occurs on such streets, despite representing only 25% of the total street mileage. Crashes that kill or seriously injure people are increasing in the city, and we know that speed increases the likelihood and severity of these crashes. So it's important that we focus our energy to try to reduce speeds on city streets. We know through evidence in Bellevue and other cities that reducing speed limits is an effective tool at reducing these types of crashes. Safe speeds are key to Vision Zero. Vision Zero is our city's goal of eliminating traffic deaths and serious injuries on Bellevue streets by 2030. In support of reaching this goal, our City Council adopted the SAFE System approach, which employs 4 strategic pillars: safe streets, safe vehicles, safe people, and safe speeds, to proactively prevent fatal and serious injury crashes from occurring on our city streets. Within the safe speeds pillar is setting appropriate speed limits.
Safe Speeds Bellevue is guided by many documents and efforts that came before it. In 2020, the Council adopted a vision for a safe and efficient transportation system, and between 2021 and 2023, we revised our speed limit setting procedures to encourage safe speeds. In 2024, we published our speed management plan, approved a local street speed limit reduction to reduce speeds on local streets from 25 to 20, and received a federal grant to improve safety on Bellevue streets. In 2025, as part of our Vision Zero action plan, we committed to reviewing speed limits on arterial streets. This work is also guided by national best practices, including the City Limits Guide from the National Association of City Transportation Officials. The City of Bellevue is not alone in our region in pursuing safe speeds. In 2020, Seattle took the first step to reduce speeds on most of its arterials to 25 miles an hour. Our peer cities of Kirkland and Redmond are also pursuing this work in 2025. Kirkland is conducting speed studies and updating its speed limit policy, and Redmond launched its Safer Streets Redmond effort to evaluate speed limits citywide. The way we propose to determine safe speeds is by using a target speeds approach. Target speeds are the highest speeds that people should drive their vehicles on a street that's in a specific context. This approach helps minimize the risk of a person being killed or seriously injured on Bellevue streets. It's a context-sensitive approach to setting safe speed limits that will help minimize that risk. We have proposed deploying this approach on our existing 30-mile-an-hour and above streets. Our approach to Safe Speeds Bellevue has 5 major steps. The first is to develop our target speeds approach, evaluate that target speed approach on 4 evaluation streets. Then we will develop an implementation plan to deploy target speeds citywide. We will implement those target speeds, and then we will follow up with safe speeds projects that will encourage the new posted speeds to be followed. This work is informed by national best practices, feedback that we will receive from the public, the data we collect by evaluating this approach, our available budget, and feedback from the City Council. The framework that we will use to determine target speeds is based on 2 major factors. The first is conflicts. How frequently potential conflicts will arise on a given street. This is based on the density of crossing points, as well as the mixing between different modes of transportation. The second factor is activity, how active a street currently is or is expected to be in the future. This is also referred to as activity level. Crossing point density represents the opportunities for people to cross or enter the street, whether they are walking, rolling, biking, or driving. This includes where crosswalks are located, intersections, as well as driveways. An example of a low crossing point density is on 148th Avenue Southeast, where we would recommend a higher speed limit. An example of high crossing point density would be on North of Way, where there are lots of driveways and crosswalks, and we would recommend a lower target speed limit. Modal mixing represents the physical separation between people driving and the people that are walking, rolling, and biking on the street. An example of low modal mixing would be on 112th Avenue Southeast, where we have sidewalks on both sides of the street that are separated from the road by landscaping. On the far side of the road, there is also a multi-use path for people biking as well. An example of high modal mixing would be on 156th Avenue Southeast, where there's only sidewalk on one side of the street and no dedicated facilities for people biking. Here we would recommend a lower speed limit. Activity level represents pedestrian activity, public spaces, current and future bike routes, use of the curb, as well as transit routes. An example of low activity level would be on Lake Hills Connector, where we recommend a higher speed limit. An example of a high activity level would be on Factoria Boulevard, where people work, live, and shop along the same street. Here we would recommend a lower speed limit. To determine the target speed for each street, which represents the safe speed limit, we will combine the factors of activity and conflicts into a target speed matrix. Where activity and conflicts are high, we would recommend the lowest speed limit, typically 25 miles an hour. However, we may use engineering judgment where these activity and conflicts are particularly high and recommend a 20 mile an hour target speed limit. Where activity and conflicts are lowest and the risk to everyone using the street is the lowest, we would recommend the highest speed limit of 35 miles an hour.
We plan to test this target speed approach on 4 evaluation streets shown on the map to the right. 4 corridors are currently signed at 35 miles per hour, which we are proposing to apply a 30 mile per hour or 25 mile per hour speed limit. These streets are near schools, along bike routes, and are locations where we've heard from residents a desire for a lower speed limit. We plan to post the new lower speed limit on each of these corridors this summer and evaluate the impacts the new signage has on driver behavior. Lower speed limits do improve safety. We know from Seattle when they lowered the speed limit on most arterial streets to 25 miles per hour, they saw reductions in both annual crashes and the speed of people driving. In Bellevue, we also saw reductions in the number of people driving 30 miles per hour or more decrease when we lowered the speed limit on local streets in Eastgate to 20 miles per hour. On our 4 evaluation corridors, we plan to collect data to measure the impact on the lower speed limit. The initial phase of Safe Speeds Bellevue will apply new speed limits, add additional speed limit signs, and adjust signal timing to reflect the new speed limit. As we move forward with this work, we will also apply additional tools to reflect the new speed limits, such as radar feedback signs, speed safety cameras. We'll look at traffic calming measures, such as lane widths, speed cushions, and medians, and also look to improve the crossing environment for people walking. We launched Safe Speeds Bellevue in May 2025 with our City Council. They directed us to implement the lower speed limit on our 4 evaluation corridors and develop the target speed map, which applies new speed limits on all of our 30+ mile per hour streets in the city. In mid-2026, we will seek final approval of that target speed map and work toward implementing the speed limit changes in 2027. Throughout this process, we plan to engage, consult, and inform our community to make sure that they understand what is being proposed, understand sentiments around safe speeds, and get feedback on our target speed map. While safe speeds are at the cornerstone of our city's Vision Zero effort, we don't want lower speed limits to be a surprise to our community. We have a lot of upcoming outreach activities to make sure that our community members, residents, and visitors have all the information they need about potential lower speed limits across the city. In addition to a translated project website and stories planned for city publications such as It's Your City and Neighborhood News, we plan to be out in the community starting this summer to make sure that everyone is aware of our work associated with Safe Speeds Bellevue. Come find us at Bellevue Family Fourth, the Crossroads Farmers Market, and other city events where you can learn more information about this important body of work and help us realize our Vision Zero goal.